In 2020, I made a video outlining the 10 best states to live if you are a coaster enthusiast. And although there are plenty of great parts of the US to experience world-class thrill machines, it was an easy choice for me to pick Pennsylvania as my number one. With parks like Kennywood, Knoebels, Waldameer, Dorney Park, and Hersheypark, plus all of the great parks surrounding it, the Keystone State is definitely the place to be. That is why in 2021, I planned a major road trip through Pennsylvania to check out all of their amazing coasters. Now that I've gotten all of the major credits, I am here to share with you my top 10 roller coasters in Pennsylvania. Hey everyone, this is Cullah Hale from Destination Thrills. I hope you are staying warm so far this winter. I know I am dying for theme parks in the Midwest to open again so I can get on some coasters. In the meantime though, I'm going to be making theme park videos to hold me over. And one video I've been really excited to release is my top 10 coasters in Pennsylvania. Following my major theme park road trip last summer, I got to experience so many new amazing rides. I was fortunate that even with bad weather, I was able to get a majority of the major credits at all of the main theme parks in the state. The only notable coaster that I missed was Oscar's Wacky Taxi, and to be honest, I don't think it would have cracked the top 10 anyway, as there's just too many high-class thrills in the state. Now, just a reminder, this is solely my opinion from my experience on the trip. I am sure your opinions will vastly differ from my own. I personally love wild, fast, out-of-control coasters, and I really tend to favor wooden coasters even if they are rough. Honestly, if you can give me a crazy adrenaline rush, I will forgive you for not being the smoother coaster of the bunch. I also like coasters that give you strong negative G-forces and tend not to care so much about the ones that have higher positive G-forces. So keep all of this in mind when going through my top 10 on what type of coasters I tend to like. Alright, so without any further explanation, I think it's time to get into the top 10. At number 10, we have Steel Force from Dorney Park, one of several hypers you will see on this list. Built in 1997, this Morgan Hyper stands at 200 feet, has a top speed of 75 miles per hour, and a track length of 5,600 feet. The coaster does not feature inversions, instead it focuses on airtime. Now, when I saw Steel Force for the first time, I immediately got Mamba vibes from Worlds of Fun, so my expectation was that the ride was going to be very similar. And although the layout seems almost the same, the way the coasters performed are much different. Steel Force did not seem to be as aggressive in the first half of the ride, but the second half delivered everything I wish Mamba would. Steel Force isn't as crazy or out of control as the other coasters on this list, but its steady dose of airtime earned it a number 10 spot. To number 9, we have WILDCAT at Hersheypark, a GCI wooden coaster. Now, right off the bat, I am sure this will be a coaster that many people will disagree with being on the top 10 list for Pennsylvania, and I understand their argument as WILDCAT is a pretty rough woody. However, the pacing on this coaster is hard to pass up, and the out-of-control experience it brought to me had me going back for more. Now, WILDCAT stats won't blow you away. It's 106 feet tall, max speed is only 50 miles per hour, and it has a length of about 3,183 feet. But the performance is all that mattered to me, and the speed of the turns, sudden changes of direction, had my mind guessing on what was gonna happen next. On top of that, there are a few amazing ejector moments that I'm not used to experiencing on GCIs. One moment that sticks out in my mind in particular was toward the middle. There was a section where it kind of banked to the left, and then out of nowhere there was a short speed bump where it really pumped you out of your seat. Airtime is definitely not foreign to GCIs, but the strength of it reminded me of an RMC airtime hill. Another reason this coaster is in my top 10 is the night ride, the aggression, pacing, the negative G's are all magnified under the stars. Trust me, if you are a big fan of wild wooden coasters, you will definitely enjoy your experience on WILDCAT. Alright, at number 8, we have another coaster from Hersheypark, and that is Fahrenheit, a multi-inversion roller coaster from Intamin. Fahrenheit has a height of 121 feet, a top speed of 58 miles per hour, and a track length of 2,700 feet. With a vertical chain lift and a beyond vertical first drop, this coaster has the look of a Gerstlauer Infinity model. But how aggressive the coaster behaved, it was clear that this ride had Intamin behind it all the way. In fact, I would even compare the swift maneuvers of this ride to bring me glimpses of Maverick at Cedar Point. What keeps this ride from being ranked as well as Maverick is that the ride is almost too focused on inversions. And in all honesty, the Norwegian Loop and Cobra Roll really don't have that much in the way of intensity. Where Fahrenheit makes it up is in the small airtime hills and zero-G rolls toward the end of the layout that are very snappy. And of course, that first drop in the backseat gives you some insane ejector airtime, and the experience overall was very fun and unique, and that's why Fahrenheit makes it at number 8 on this list. All right, on to number 7, we have yet another coaster from Hersheypark, and that is Candymonium, a B&M hypercoaster. Open in 2020, the ride has a height of 210 feet, a top speed of 76 miles per hour, and a length of 4,636 feet. Candymonium is a very smooth ride. In fact, it's probably one of the smoothest coasters on this list. The layout really focuses on floater airtime hills. If you've been on other B&M hypers like Diamondback, Nitro, Mako, Candymonium pretty much offers the same experience. However, I will say that for some reason, at least with my rides this summer on Candymonium, it just didn't seem to have the high thrill that I was hoping for. I'm not sure if it was the trims hitting hard, but the intensity of the airtime just wasn't there for me. And that's why it's not ranked as high for me as maybe other coaster enthusiasts would have ranked it in a Pennsylvania countdown. With that said, I think it fits very well in Hersheypark's lineup, and it's a style of coaster that was desperately needed in the state of Pennsylvania. For many of you that are watching this video, you may get on this coaster and make it your number 1. And trust me, I did enjoy it as well, and that's why it's enough to make it the number 7 coaster in the state of Pennsylvania. All right, moving to our number 6, we have Steel Curtain at Kennywood. Steel Curtain was built in 2019. It has a height of 220 feet, a top speed of 75 miles per hour, and a track length of 4,000 feet. Steel Curtain is one of those coasters that kept growing on me every time I took a lap. This coaster has 9 inversions, which is actually the most of any coaster in the US. The inversions are pretty fun and super tall, which can be very intimidating watching from the ground. But the best parts of this ride are the little airtime moments that are thrown in there. On top of this, Steel Curtain has a pretty long duration, so you feel really fulfilled after coming off the ride. One thing that's keeping this ride from moving further is it just didn't have the insane out of control moments that you will find on the coasters in my top 5. There was also a slight vibration on the ride as well, which some may find uncomfortable, so kind of keep that in mind if you ever get a chance to ride this coaster. But besides that, I think the height and inversions are just so much fun, and that's why Steel Curtain makes it at number 6. All right, let's move on to number 5. We have Storm Runner at Hersheypark. Storm Runner opened in 2004. It has a max height of 150 feet, a max speed of 75 miles per hour, and a total track length of 2,600 feet. The ride is short, but man, does it certainly pack a punch into every single second. The launch kicks your heartbeat into overdrive, and then you catapult up into an insane -G top hat. Those in the back seat of the ride will feel like they are airborne for eternity. Then you hit a quick series of snappy inversions and sudden turns that takes you back to the station. The ride maintains so much speed that you don't get a second to catch your breath until it's over. If Storm Runner somehow could fit 4 or 5 elements into the layout, this ride would rival some of the top thrill machines in the world. And that is really the only thing keeping this coaster from being ranked higher on this list is the length. But trust me, the intensity will match, if not surpass, the other 4 coasters on this list, so I think a good ranking for Storm Runner is number 5. Okay, moving on to number 4, we have Phoenix at Knoebels, the wooden airtime king. Phoenix has a height of 78 feet and reaches a top speed of 45 miles per hour. So looking at the stats, it seems like a very small, tame coaster. And that's what the appearance is from the outside. But man, once you crest the first hill, you realize the ride is about to test your restraints, keeping you in the coaster. Hill after hill of wild airtime. What enhances the experience is the amount of room that you have on your restraints to really bounce around in your seat. I mean, at one point of the ride, I thought I was gonna get thrown into the seat next to me. That's just how much room you have. Phoenix is a one-of-a-kind ride. The only thing that the coaster is lacking is just some variety in the layout. But if there's one element that you're gonna be repetitive with, ejector airtime hills are the way to go. I had a lot of expectations for this wooden coaster as it has won multiple Golden Ticket Awards, and let me just say, Phoenix did not let me down one bit. Now on to my number 3, and in my opinion, this is the best wooden coaster in Pennsylvania, and that is Ravine Flyer II at Waldameer. Built by Gravity Group in 2008, Ravine Flyer II has a height of 80 feet, a speed that tops out at 57 miles per hour, and a track length of 2,900 feet. The best way I can describe this coaster is by calling it a mini voyage. The heavily banked high-speed turns, drops that seem to come out of nowhere, and the strong pacing maintained throughout the entire experience is very reminiscent of the Voyage. The ride even has some tunnels thrown in there as well. Now don't go in expecting this ride to be just like the Voyage. Remember, I said mini Voyage. But it really delivers the same amount of adrenaline, which is why I think so highly of this attraction. The ride uses the terrain so perfectly, almost as if to hide the layout, which is why for first-time riders, you will be so confused on what elements you're doing and where you're at in the layout. This is my ideal style of ride, and if Ravine Flyer II had a bit longer of a layout, it would easily be contending for the #1 spot on this list. On to number 2, we have another terrain coaster, but this one is made of steel, and that is Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. This hypercoaster has a height of 160 feet and a top speed of 85 miles per hour. Because of the terrain, it also has a drop of 228 feet. Phantom's Revenge feels like a wooden coaster with smoother steel track. There are plenty of head choppers and several sudden changes that will get you. On top of that, Phantom's Revenge sends you through some almost painful ejector airtime moments. One part in particular during the double down is one of the most jarring airtime hills I've ever experienced. In fact, one time I was just adjusting my mask during the element and I punched myself in the face. Those kind of intense moments are what I dream of experiencing on a coaster. Adding to it, the ride also has great duration and has plenty of elements. And because this is a terrain steel coaster, this ride is even crazier at night. Phantom's Revenge is just a unique, amazing ride, and it should be on your list if you're headed to the state of Pennsylvania. All right, we have finally made it to the #1 roller coaster in Pennsylvania, and this ride absolutely blew my mind. Let me just say that after the first drop, I had a crush on Skyrush at Hersheypark. Seriously, I was a fanboy from ride 1. It has been a long time since the coaster absolutely stunned me with intensity, but this ride was so intense that I held on to my restraints for the entire first ride. Opened in 2012, this Intamin mega coaster stands at 200 feet tall, reaches a velocity of 75 miles per hour, and it drags you through 3,600 feet of track. The one thing that is amazing about Skyrush is just how powerful the airtime is. And not just on one hill, but every single hill on this coaster. And because of the way the restraints are designed, you really feel like you're gonna get flown out of the ride. It's just a weird sensation that your upper body is completely free, and it really messed with my head all 10 rides. I truly have never experienced a thrill quite like Skyrush. Now, I will say Skyrush is not for everyone. Because of how strong the airtime hills are, many riders experience discomfort in their thighs from the constant pressure of the restraints. I myself even experienced some pain from the ride, but if I was completely honest with you, it was totally worth it. And even with that pain, I still got in line to ride this ride over and over and over again. Skyrush was easily one of my favorite coasters in the state of Pennsylvania, and I can't wait to get back to Hersheypark to get some more rides. All right, so this is my countdown of the best roller coasters in the state of Pennsylvania. Now I want to hear from you. What are your favorite coasters in the state? And if you've never been to Pennsylvania, let me know in the comments which coasters you are looking forward to riding the most. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I have plenty of ranking videos on my channel. I will leave a link to the playlist in the description below, along with the top 10 coasters opening in 2022 video in the card above. I will also be dropping my top 20 roller coasters video very soon, and trust me, some of these Pennsylvania coasters will be on that list. So don't forget to subscribe to Destination Thrills and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that upload. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Cullah Hale. Stay safe and have a good one.